found out that this boy was actually downloading Instagram, logging in onto the Instagram. He would work on Instagram in the time frame that he was allowed to use the gadget. Before he handed over this gadget to the mother, he would uninstall Instagram. The mother was on the Facebook. Mother didn't know what Instagram was. So then we again logged on to his Instagram. We found that there was a profile created by somebody in this boy's name with his photograph. This boy was a little overweight, a chubby kind of a boy. And his picture was placed with a whole bucket of KFC or EFC, I don't know what you call it, that fried chicken kind of a thing, saying that no matter you feed him with buckets and buckets of it, I am not full. That's the display picture, the profile picture of that Instagram. Somebody has created it. It was okay because that Instagram profile was created about a month back. He was okay with it. Or probably he didn't respond to it as in this harsh way. But we went on looking at what was happening. Down below, the last post was this boy's picture, wherein there was an edit made where the private organ was cut and pasted of a little young boy. Not young boy, a little boy, a 1-year-old boy. Imagine a 9th standard boy. His picture and the private part is of a 1-year-old child. Saying this is what he actually looks like. And that is the day he tried to kill himself. A 9th standard boy, that's the time when boys or girls start getting attracted probably on larger numbers, to the opposite genders. They start giving applications, probably looking at girls or talking to some girls or something. He was also trying to talk to some of the girls. And his entire classmates were there on this profile, liking it, commenting on it, etc. The case was registered for abetment of suicide, where 72 people were accused. The creator of the profile was his own classmate. People who liked and commented were his classmates. There were 2 teachers who just put smileys. The teacher didn't say anything. There's no comment, nothing. The teacher just said, put in smileys. But the boy couldn't take it. He just tried to kill himself. Luckily, nothing happened to the child. The boy was rescued after about 12 days of ICU admission, and then post about a month and a half, and he was brought out. And the case was settled in the school, because otherwise the case would have been against 72 children of a school. Children and 2 teachers. Who do you blame in this scenario? It was settled. Morally, was it right? I don't know. I have no comments on it. Legally, is this the way? No. But did these children who actually created the profile and commented on the profile think that such a thing would happen? Probably majority of them didn't. The boy who created this profile definitely wanted this boy to leave the school. That's all. But I don't think even that boy wanted this boy to end his life. But this is how things go out of hand. Because they really don't understand the after effect of it. They feel it's okay. They never thought they could be traced back. The boy who created the profile was absolutely sure that he will not be traced back. And it didn't take more than 12 hours for us to reach out to that boy. Imagine my office. I have a very small office in Thrissur. I had 72 sets of people coming and waiting here to, ask me favors about what can be done with regarding their own issues. It was very difficult to handle. And most of the cases are very difficult to handle when it happens. Just like I said, now, if the same thing I go on stage or I start talking to children, I would just simply present it in a very good narrative where the child understands that, it is very, it is harmful, or it is not right to abuse somebody else, not put something online what I wouldn't take to myself. And the narrative sounds well, the child would laugh and probably take in some message. No. Children are not expected to be that responsible. Children are children because they're not responsible. We are responsible. We don't take up that ownership. When I envisaged this complete idea of bringing awareness after the post-mortem analysis, which we have been doing for so many years about creating awareness to children. I tried with educational ministers, ministries of different states, the central. There was no positive response from any of those people. But then I tried with schools. I tried my best with every school possible where I could get a connect, where I had some time to go and talk about them, saying that this is important. Please do something about it. Of course, I can't do the funding for the whole thing. 3,000 students in a school, I can't be giving the lectures free of cost for all the 3,000 students. I can't be sending staff there, asking them to take class free of cost. No, I can't be giving books free of cost. So there is a cost involved to it, but then it is worth it. Because today, and suppose the schools had taken the initiative, let me be very, very frank with all of you all, we wouldn't have been going through the issues that we are going through now during the pandemic, because we would have been a little ready. Because of the pandemic, all of us had to shift to this online thing without a notice. And all of us were at loose ends. We didn't know what to do. Neither the schools nor the teachers, but we were dealing with a community of young minds who knew how to use this thing. We still are dealing with a community who know how to use this. The probabilities and possibilities of this particular domain, they're very, very clear about the children. We have no other choice but to gear up to this. We have to. I have cases as young as when the child is 4-year-old, 4-year-old child. The boy was caught trying to do some mischief with his classmate in school, where the ayah found it out, and then she made a hue and cry. People called in, and the boy said, I didn't do anything. I was only trying to keep this girl. I want this girl to be my best friend. I didn't do anything about it, but only try to keep this friend always with me because I saw a video on Amma's mobile. And in that mobile, the uncle and the auntie, they were always together. So that's all I tried to do. I was only imitating. There's a curious mind in every human being. Understand, the child is always curious. There's always a need to replicate, to imitate, not knowing the repercussions. We called the mother in. We spoke to the mother. Mother said, no way that I don't keep any such data on my phone. I said, you give me your mobile and in 5 minutes, I'll tell you what you have in the phone. Then she said, no, I have certain things on my phone, but then it's all past pattern protected. So I called the boy and said, Amma says that she's got past pattern on her phone. Then how did you watch these things on Amma's phone? He said, ma'am, Amma uses the phone and I just need to hold the phone against the light like this. I can see her finger mark going. And I just work my fingers across it, open the phone and zoom. I have everything in front of me. Who do you blame? The same phone where the adults have the financial data, personal data, everything is given to the child for use. One of the cases in Kerala now that we are handling is that a 6th standard boy spent 3.5 lakhs from his mother's bank account. And the mother didn't even realize it. Till she went to the bank to withdraw some amount personally, and the bank updated the passbook, gave it to her, and the 3.5 lakhs lost. And she filed a complaint. Somebody has stolen my money from somewhere, and all that. Investigation went and landed up on her own phone, which the son was using. Case had to be withdrawn. The bank details are there. The the passwords are there on the phone, the same phone, and the same phone is given to the child. We have not, as adults, we have not learned how to use this particular space. We have not decided on how to secure our data. We do not know, we don't practice some kind of data hygiene. Children watch us. Unless we brush our teeth every day, we can't force a child to brush our teeth. It's the same way we have to learn how to use the space effectively and in a clean manner to impose this on our child. And in spite of that, accidents happen. Trust me, accidents happen. Nobody is absolutely safe. I am as vulnerable as any other human being on this earth using this particular space. And that is when accidents happen. But how do we tell them that accidents are fine, but don't send invitations out and bring in problems? Now, these are about the little children. What about those children who are already addicted to this space and are already using this for n number of hours? Now, academics, it is absolutely on this particular platform called digital space. We have no choice. The child has to study online. The classes are online, everything. Forcefully keep entertainment offline. That's the only choice we have. And even if the child spends 4 to 5 hours on academic purpose, listening to a class online, don't worry, the level of addiction is very low, because just like us, even our children do not like to study. So the percentage of concentration they have when they're in front of the system, in front of the digital space, listening to the teachers is very, very minimal. They will find their own distraction. Just observe your child. They are online in the class. Every 10 minutes, they'll feel thirsty. They'll then have to go to the washroom. They will take a walk. They will chat with their friends. Yes. But if they're sitting and playing on their digital space after the class or watching a YouTube video, hours will go on, but they will not even feel hungry or thirsty. So limit entertainment. Limit entertainment. That's the only thing we can do. Forget about children. We are also like that. Suppose there was nobody ringing a calling bell at our doorstep. We didn't have milk on our stove. We will also sit for hours together. We will also sit for hours together without being disturbed. If adults, responsible adults, if we can spend so much time online, kids, they will. So it is for us to decide and tell them, enough. You are studying online, you study online, you have your games and entertainment offline. TV is a less damaging thing when you compare it with your gadget or your phone or your laptop that the child spends with. TV is a lesser damaging thing. Though during my times, I clearly remember my mother used to yell at me saying that you spend all your day in front of this idiot box. This is what my mother used to scold me with. But now we have little kuti idiot boxes, and that too innumerable numbers in front of our with our child. And we're very comfortable and happy. Try taking away that gadget from the child. There is an urge to get back to it. We also have an urge to get back to it. What do we do first thing in the morning these days? Let's be honest. What do? We'll open the phone and we'll open the WhatsApp as if there's going to be a very emergency message there. We'll look at the WhatsApp. What do we tell? Oh, there might be a very important message in WhatsApp. Let's look at our office group or our community group. I mean, this kind of whatever you're involved in, the work that you're involved in. Do we stop at that? There'll be 20 other groups with 20 messages each at least, and they're all the normal good morning message, as if if we don't read good morning on that, the sun is not going to rise. We read that and we forward also on that. Suppose I don't forward a message of good morning, what if the sun refuses to come up? No, we do it and we expect our children not to do it. No, if we do it, our children will do it twice as much. Twice as much. When we are so addicted to this space, because I keep telling my staff very clearly that you have an office group, no good mornings, no forward messages, no junk messages. I know if you are not coming to office, leave a message you're not coming to office. This is the reason. If there's anything else you want the office to know, put a message in. There is no other forward message that is allowed. And trust me, most of the days my office group is silent. This is nothing else we have to communicate. So just try this with your community groups, with your school groups that you have. Just strictly say no forwards, no greetings. And you will see that group just go silent. Nothing else. And we tend to believe every forward message that we get, right? Whether it be, let it be of political nature, maybe some medical thing that happens, jobs that come in, but vaccinations, this pandemic, the amount of fake messages that we have seen during this pandemic, I cannot even tell you. Register your vaccination through my portal. I will help you. Because we are looking for vaccinations, you go and register on that. And then after about 6 to 7 hours, you'll get a call saying that, madam, did you register for vaccination? I'm sending you an OTP. The charges will be deducted. You send me, you give me that OTP and let me take the vaccination cost. Instead of 800 something or 1,000 something that you're supposed to pay for the vaccination, what you lose is 10,000 and gone. And this furthermore, what happens? It says, okay, ma'am, we debited that amount from your bank accidentally. What we want to do is we want to return that amount to you. So for that, we have sent another OTP. Please give me that OTP. That OTP also will go. Further gone. Instead of 800 rupees, I have a client who paid 4,80,000. Because he kept sharing. All of us do this, and don't think that, it just happens because we do not know about this. No, the person that I'm talking about now who lost 4,80,000 is the bank officer. So he doesn't know. Bank officer definitely knows that an OTP is not to be shared. He's the one who protects our financial data, right? So he definitely knows. In spite of that, he lost this 4,80,000, right? If you actually look at the usage on that phone that he had for the previous 3 days, the consecutive off days that he had, he was spending more than 16 hours online on that phone. Suddenly, somewhere, it's like, I keep telling when I talk to the children, especially, that fuse ud jata hai. That fuse in the bulb, it just fires off and then you suddenly are lost, you don't know what happened, how the power went off. That's the kind of thing that happens when you spend so many hours online. It is absolutely a dirty space for anybody to be there for prolonged hours. You have to maintain a timetable, a schedule, and say, no, you're going to get up from this and walk away. All the senior citizen cases that we have had till date during the pandemic, it was all because of this, because they have no one to talk to. They have nowhere to go to. So they were all spending lots of their time on this particular gadget. And somebody calls up or sends a message, they feel they can respond because they're just learning how to use it. My mother comes up, my mother is 67, she comes up and says, okay, she wants to use the phone. She's been using it. I said, no financial transaction whatsoever on your phone. I'll manage it. You don't have to buy. You can still bank physically. No way you're going to do this on the phone because I know you're going to spend a lot of time on this. For those people who do not have an option, we have to tell them use 2 different gadgets, please. 2 different gadgets. All of us have to practice this. If we cannot put down our phone on the social or the entertainment aspect, let's have a sensitive personal information, financial information, official information on a different gadget at least. At least so much secure we will be. The same thing we practice, we'll have to tell the children, no, this is your educational thing. You study on this, not anything else. You play on this for so long. That's it. You're not going to have anything else. There will be tantrums. Let me tell you, there will be tantrums. And the tantrums are not going to be very easy to handle with the children. They'll refuse to eat, they'll refuse to study, they'll refuse to go to school, they'll refuse to go and do their exam. All these they will do. I have 3 children at home, my son and my niece and my nephew. They also do the same thing. Nobody is different. But we have to learn to deal with those tantrums, but not expose these children to all these vulnerabilities. Most of the time these days, children of maybe middle age, I mean, I would say no, the early teens, 10, 11, 12, 13 kind of an age bracket, both girls and boys, they start talking to strangers. And in no time, the stranger becomes their friend. If you actually look at it, like for example, if I am playing with Valli ma'am, I'm just giving names because I can, I'm using your name ma'am. I'm playing with Valli ma'am because we are friends. Or I'm communicating with Valli ma'am on the social media because we are friends. Suddenly I come up and say, okay, Anjana ma'am is my friend, and I will introduce Anjana ma'am to Valli ma'am saying that Anjana ma'am is my friend, ma'am. Valli ma'am, you can talk to each other. In no time, Valli ma'am will introduce Anjana ma'am to probably Anita ma'am saying that, Anjana ma'am is my friend. Valli ma'am has not even seen Anjana ma'am. Valli ma'am doesn't even know whether this Anjana ma'am is a man or a woman. It's only a name that I introduce saying it's my friend. But this is what happens, and this is how quickly it happens on this particular space. And then suddenly, I don't even realize that I'm out of the communication list because I have so many other people who come to me like, friends of friends, friends of friends kind of a thing, where I don't realize I'm not talking to Valli ma'am at all. Valli ma'am and Anjana ma'am probably start talking. And one of these people decide to misbehave. Misbehave in the sense, it's really, really bad the way they try to misbehave. They start introducing certain things to the child. Because if I may use your name, ma'am, Valli ma'am is quite senior adult, but then, I have introduced each other saying that, we are the peer groups. And instead of that, she knows who she's talking to. She knows that I'm talking to a little child on the other end. And it's very easy to manipulate and get the child to record certain things, take their own pictures, and to share it. One picture, 1 second video, it's enough to break the confidence of the child, saying if the person, perpetrator of this crime, starts talking to the child saying that I'm going to share it to your friends, I'm going to put it up on YouTube, I'm going to put it up on Google, I'm going to share it with your parents, finished. Then the child starts responding to that blackmail without a choice, to the extent that we have seen children are exploited in that way to carry packets of information which are anti-national, physically transfer money, use for money laundering, drug trafficking, and even for sex trafficking. Physically, the child may not even be touched, but the child's entire physical aspect is shared online, even before the child realizes. Sometimes the children are so brainwashed that the children start believing it's okay to expose oneself. We've had cases where the child comes up to me and says, it's my body, what is wrong? And by the time the child reaches 13 or 14, he or she starts filming himself or herself and sending it to random people for money. Fast money. They wouldn't even know who they're sending, but that's okay for them. That is the way they are talking about. I'm not, again, questioning the morality or the ethics of the society, no. But if the child is equipped to deal with the aftermath of such a thing, I'm also fine with it. It's okay. If a child can confidently argue with me saying that my body, what is your problem at 13, and continue to live her life till she's 100 and then die with the same spirit, I'm okay with it. But it is not like that. Once he or she crosses the age of 18 or 19 or 20, he or she gets into a relationship, and the entire thing has changed. Sadly, most of the time, the aftermath of cybercrime is not visible then and there. It's after years. We were investigating a case in Coimbatore where the child was in the 11th standard and she's already gone through 4 abortions. For her, it was okay. She kept denying about the whole thing. She was actually, we got into her because she was supplying, she was one of the chains in the drug supply which was happening in a school in a particular area. So we had to corner her, we had to talk to her, we had to get her parents online, we had to get to talk to her parents. And the mother went abusing me for 45 minutes in Tamil. Thankfully, I don't understand so much of Tamil, though I can manage Tamil. கொஞ்சம் பேச முடியும் ஆனாலும் அந்த ஃபார்மலா பேச எனக்கு தெரியல but this lady went on abusing me for half an hour to 45 minutes in pure Tamil. Thankfully I didn't understand most of it. I didn't understand, but that's how we parents are. We feel our child is safe, nothing is going to happen to our child. It only happens in the neighborhood. No, if it can happen to me and you, it can happen to our children also. It is our responsibility to see that the child is safe. And this child had we went there at 8 o'clock in the morning to that school where we had this particular thing. The police were also there. We had this juvenile board also sitting there with us. It was past 6:30 in the evening before the child confessed, because by then she wanted to have that supply of drugs herself. So it was not a big kind of a thing what we went about, broke the child down, nothing. We had to wait for that body cycle of hers to respond and to come out with her own truth. And that's when the parents agreed for a medical examination. We found that she had gone through 4 abortions, basically because she wanted money. She would videograph herself and send it to random people. She started blackmailing boys in her class, saying that if you don't do this to me, I will say you videographed me, you are blackmailing me. And the little boys, imagine 11th standard boys and all, they also started being scared. 2 boys actually left the school after 10th standard because they were scared of this girl. And it was going on from since she was in 8th standard, and we're finding out all these things when she was 11. I don't think she can ever come back to normal life. To be very honest, the President's Award that I received was for bringing out 2,800 plus cases, and they're all the dirtiest cases that you can even imagine or think about. But out of the 2,800 cases, I'm very sure not one case I could have made any difference to the subject involved. The victim involved, whether it's a girl or boy. No, I'm very sure no. Because of the so-called professionalism that we also train ourselves to imbibe into ourselves, I moved on from one case to another. That's it. Even today, I'm very sure the first case that I investigated, the subject would not have come out of the torture that they have gone through. So I keep saying it's no good. The postmortem that I have been doing is no good if prevention cannot come into place. Is no good, absolutely no good. It doesn't take any big effort for an investigation. There is a criminal in place who has done all the research, all the kind of an efforts, taken the pain, and he or she has done the crime. All we do is walk back the same track that he has already laid down. It doesn't take much of brains. Trust me, it doesn't take much of brains. If it took much of brains, I wouldn't have been successful in this. I'm just a peanut brain. I'm honestly telling you, a peanut brain. I can't do more than a particular limit. No. So this is not much. But yes, I would say from 2004 onwards, I'm in this industry. From 2010 onwards, we've been trying to bring in some change in the society by bringing in the information that we have gathered from the postmortem to the preventive mechanisms. And that is when we all started, me and my peer groups have started feeling that we are making some difference. Till then, absolutely, it's just a routine job that, it was hard for me in the initial days, not only because of the cases were hard, but because I couldn't also explain to the people around me like what I was doing. That was another part. Then the thing was that there was a stage in the first 2 years of my career that, I didn't know what I was doing this for. For the fee that I was collecting, what is it that I was delivering? Nothing. I was just telling a client who came to me, probably it would be a government agency, where I say, okay, this particular person, the criminal has been very smart. These people have been foolish. They've got into problem. What is the recourse? I don't know. What can be done? I don't know. What should be done? I don't know. To give so many I don't knows to these people, I was paid. There was a massive change after we, sort of came out with this complete idea of putting into use whatever we've learned from these postmortems and the number of cases that we deal with. And I started with about 8 cases a month because, again, on the social aspect, I only work in India. On the organizational aspects, I work across Asia. But for and the governments also, I work across Asia. But for the social aspect, I work only in India. And 8 cases, a month was what we were handling. Today, we get more than about 80 to 100 cases per day. And it's not easy to handle those cases, to reply to those people, and most of the cases when it comes to children, they depend on WhatsApp these days, where they message us and then they want that kind of a recourse immediately. It's sad. And it's a little difficult for me to hold on to my staff also, because they also get frustrated very easily, saying too much to take every day. So yeah, that's how we are working here now. And I think now we'll take questions. We have 3 more minutes. Yes. I have actually gone through the issues of addiction, which is very, very important for every child. I'm not getting into the nature of every single crime that you can see today, because children know about it. They know every technical terminology. You name hacking, you name stalking, you name spoofing. We may say, okay, what is that? We don't know, but the child knows. The child, if you talk to the youngest of the child, they know about it. You ask them questions, they know answers to every question. You ask a child whether the internet is private or public, the child will definitely give a positive answer saying that internet is public. But how is it that this public space has to be used with the entire significance of being public? The child is not reminded of, again, because the child is not responsible, not expected to be responsible. So they just behave the way a child has to behave with anything. Every time our children go out on the road, we have to keep reminding them, there'll be traffic. Before you cross the road, be careful. All these guards or the reminders, we give it to the child. We should know how to remind our children about the issues on the space also. We have no choice. We have no choice but to gear up. So with this, I would definitely like to, place on record a request with all the adults who are listening to me today. Please gear up. Take that additional effort for our children, because that's all we can do. We can't deny them the space. No. We can't expect government to do the entire job. No. If you think technology can give all the safeguarding that you need, you can have a software in place, if you can have a specific hardware in place, no. The child knows how to break these. You have to teach the child why it should not be broken. In spite of all that, a 20% of the child group will definitely venture into something that we will call as accidents. But 80% will be safe. Today, all the 100%, they're exposed to issues. So I will take questions from now.
Thank you, Dr. Danya. That is extremely useful, and it's quite frightening too. I mean, I'm sure lots of children and parents are listening, teachers as well. Now, I think, Dr. Sudha, would you like to take questions forward? Would you want to do some bit of translation, or would you like to?
I think I was told that we will go off the live streaming when the questions are there.
Yeah.
That's what we had discussed.
Yeah.
Yes, Susha, I think Sudha auntie will do the translation. You're right. Dr. Sudha?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Clear.
because my this thing is very poor. So I was able to hear in bits and pieces, but I would like to sum up what exactly Dania wanted to express. She says, சரி அவங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னாக்கா adults-க்கு வந்து different social media like Instagram, Facebook, இது மாதிரி எல்லா வகை உள்ள social media ஓட awareness இருக்கணும். Okay, this awareness is very important. Most of the adults நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னாக்கா இந்த இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் இந்த ஃபேஸ்புக் உள்ள போகிறோம், நிறைய அதுல வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஆன்லைன் சாட் பண்றோம், எல்லாமே பண்றோம். ஆனா அதை பத்தி ஆக்சுவலி அதோட கெடுதல், அதோட நல்லது விஷயங்கள் இதெல்லாம் வந்து நம்ம வந்து தெரிஞ்சுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறோம். சோ அந்த அரைகுறை நாலேஜ வச்சுக்கிட்டு நம்ம வந்து can you hear me?
Yes, yes, clear.
Yeah. So இன்னொரு என்ன ஒரு விஷயம் அப்படின்னாக்கா, children are not responsible. நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க, குழந்தைங்களுக்கு அந்த பொறுப்பு கிடையாது. குழந்தைங்களுக்கு வந்து கியூரியாசிட்டி ரொம்ப இருக்கும். These young minds, இந்த சின்ன உயிர்கள் வந்து கியூரியாசிட்டி இருக்கிறதுனால வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து இதுக்குள்ள போகணும், இது என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். ரெண்டாவது அவங்க மைண்ட் வந்து அவ்வளவு ஃபாஸ்டா ஒர்க் பண்றதுனால அந்த குவிக்கா அவங்களால வந்து ஒவ்வொரு மீடியா ஒவ்வொரு இதையும் புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும் அவங்களால வந்து. அண்ட் அதுக்குள்ள போய் உள்ள போய் they go so deep into it. அந்த விஷயத்த வந்து அவங்களுக்கு புரியுற அளவுக்கு கூட நம்ம அடல்ட்ஸ்க்கு புரிய மாட்டேங்கிறது. அதனால வந்து இட் இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் தட் நம்ம அடல்ட்ஸ் வந்து we have to நம்ம அந்த அவேர்னஸ் நம்மளுக்கு வந்து கிரியேட் பண்ணிக்கணும். அதை பத்தி நம்மளோட இன்டர்நெட் என்ன, நம்மளோட சோசியல் மீடியா எல்லாம் என்னங்கிறது அதை நம்ம நல்ல விதத்துல புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். அவங்க என்ன சொல்ல வர்றாங்கன்னாக்கா, நம்ம நினைச்சே பார்க்க முடியாது, 4 வயசு குழந்தை கூட வந்து இந்த பிரச்சனையில மாட்டிக்கக்கூடிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. சோ நம்ம நினைப்போம் 4 வயசு குழந்தை வந்து ரொம்ப இன்னசென்ட், ரொம்ப ஒண்ணுமே தெரியாது, அதுக்கு என்ன புரியும், நம்ம இந்த ஒரு மொபைல் போன் கையில கொடுத்தோம்னா அதுக்கு ஒண்ணுமே புரியாதுன்னு நம்ம நினைக்கிறோம், அடல்ட்ஸ் நினைக்கிறோம். whereas it is not correct. அது வந்து அந்த குழந்தைங்களோட கியூரியாசிட்டி, அந்த குழந்தைங்களோட மைண்ட் ஆகப்பட்டது வந்து அதெல்லாம் தாண்டி போய் அது வந்து எந்த அளவுக்கு போகுமோ, அந்த மேடம் சொல்ற மாதிரி 3.5 lakhs ஒரு 6 வயசு குழந்தை ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணிருக்கு. அந்த ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணது கூட ஒரு அம்மாக்கு வந்து தெரியல, ரொம்ப நாள் கழிச்ச அப்புறம் தான் தெரிய வந்துச்சு. சோ தி பெஸ்ட் திங் இஸ், முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு வந்து இந்த குழந்தைகள் கையில போன் கொடுக்காதீங்க. இந்த குழந்தைகள் கையில வந்து நம்ம வந்து தேவைக்கு இது மட்டும்தான் அந்த போன் கொடுக்கணுமே வழிய, சும்மா வந்து ஒரு கார்ட்டூன் நெட்வொர்க் பாக்குறதுக்கோ, இல்ல வந்து அவங்க கையில கொடுத்துட்டு நம்ம சமையல் பண்றோம், இல்ல சாப்பிடறதுக்காக வேண்டிய அந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு வந்து காமிச்சுக்கிட்டே சாப்பாடு கொடுக்குறோம். இந்த மாதிரி அந்த குழந்தைங்களை வந்து போனை யூஸ் பண்ண விடாதீங்க. தப்பு நம்ம மேலதான் இருக்கு, தப்பு அந்த குழந்தைங்கள் மேல கிடையாது. இது வந்து ஆஸ் அன் அடல்ட் நம்ம நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். சரியா? ரெண்டாவது டேட்டா ஹைஜீன். இந்த டேட்டா ஹைஜீன் வந்து ரொம்ப நம்ம ஜாகிரதையா யூஸ் பண்ணணும். எங்கெல்லாம் பாஸ்வேர்ட், எங்கெல்லாம் நம்ம அதை வந்து க்ளோஸ் பண்ணணுமோ அங்கெல்லாம் ப்ராப்பரா க்ளோஸ் பண்ணணும். அண்ட் பிகாஸ் these children are watching us, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து தெரியும், அவங்க நம்மளுக்கு பார்த்துட்டே இருக்காங்க, நம்மளுக்கு புரியாது, ஆனா அவங்களுக்கு எல்லாமே புரியும். So this is very very important that நம்ம எந்த அளவுக்கு இந்த டேட்டா ஹைஜீனை மெயின்டைன் பண்றோம். ஆக்சிடென்ட்ஸ் நடக்கதான் செய்யும். பட் ரிமெம்பர் 80% ஆஃப் த சில்ட்ரன் நம்ம அவங்களுக்கு வந்து சொல்லி கொடுத்தோம், இந்த மாதிரி எது நல்லது எது நல்லது இல்ல, எப்படி வந்து நீங்கெல்லாம் மாட்டிக்கலாம், மாட்டினா என்ன ஆகும், இது இந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு புரிய வச்சோம் அப்படின்னாக்கா 80% ஆஃப் சில்ட்ரன் வந்து புரிஞ்சுப்பாங்க. அண்ட் நம்ம வந்து சேஃபா அவங்களை கொண்டு போறலாம். இன் ஸ்பைட் ஆஃப் தட் 20% சில்ட்ரன் வந்து மாட்டிக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். இது நம்ம நல்லாவே புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். இன்னொரு என்ன விஷயம் அப்படின்னாக்கா, அந்த என்டர்டெயின்மெண்ட் நம்ம கொடுக்குறோம். அவங்க சொன்னாங்க டிவி இடியட் பாக்ஸ் சொல்லிட்டு. கரெக்ட், இட்ஸ் அன் இடியட் பாக்ஸ். பட் டிவி ஐ ஃபீல் இஸ் மச் சேஃபர் தேன் அ மொபைல் போன் ஆர் அ கம்ப்யூட்டர். ஸோ இது எதனால அப்படி அவங்க சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னாக்கா, the percentage of concentration வந்து அந்த லிஸ்னிங் வந்து அந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப கிடையாது. சரியா? சோ என்னைக்கு நீங்க வந்து அந்த குழந்தைங்களை வந்து ஒரே glued on to the டிவின்னு சொல்றோம், glued on to the computerன்னு சொல்றோமோ, அது வந்து நம்ம அப்போ ஜாகிரதையா இருக்கணும். ஏன்னா அந்த குழந்தைகள் வந்து அந்த டீச்சிங் பீரியட்ல அந்த ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸஸ் இருக்கிற போது வந்து போர் அடிக்கும். சோ திடீர்னு பாத்ரூம்க்கு போகுங்க, திடீர்னு வந்து தண்ணி குடிக்கணும்னு போகுங்க, அது அது அடிக்கடி போயிட்டு இருக்குங்க. என்னைக்கு வந்து அந்த குழந்தைகள் வந்து 3 மணி நேரம் 4 மணி நேரம் glue to the computer இல்ல glue to the mobile போனோ, அன்னைக்கு நம்ம வந்து சந்தேகப்பட ஆரம்பிக்கணும். இந்த மாதிரி வந்து சரி இது என்னமோ ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, ஆனா நம்மளுக்கு அந்த அளவுக்கும் தெரியணும், அது உள்ள போய் அது என்ன பிரச்சனைங்கிறதுக்கு நம்ம வந்து சந்தேகத்தை வந்து நம்ம தீர்க்கறதுக்கு வந்து நம்மளுக்கு அந்த நாலேஜ் இருக்கணும். சோ இட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் தட் we know, நம்மளுக்கு தெரியணும் இது வந்து என்ன எவ்வளவு கெடுதல் அப்படிங்கறது வந்து. சரியா? நம்ம நாலேஜபிளா இருந்தோம்னா தான் அதை வந்து நம்ம வந்து நம்ம குழந்தைங்களை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண முடியும். நோன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு கத்துக்கணும். பி ஃபார்ம். கம்ப்யூட்டர் கொடுக்க முடியாது, அவங்க டெம்பர் டேண்ட்ரம்ஸ் போடுவாங்க, என்னெல்லாமோ பண்ணுவாங்க, இஷ்டத்துக்கு அவங்க வந்து ஸ்ட்ரைக் பண்ணுவாங்க, சாப்பிட மாட்டாங்க. ஆனா இருந்தாலுமே வந்து அவங்க கையில அந்த போன் கொடுக்க வேண்டாம்னு நீங்க நினைச்சீங்கன்னா அதை கொடுக்க கூடாது. ஏன்னா இதனால வந்து ஏற்படுற கெடுதல் வந்து ரொம்ப அதிகமா இருக்கு. சோ நம்ம ஆஸ் பேரண்ட்ஸ், ஆஸ் டீச்சர்ஸ், ஆஸ் அடல்ட்ஸ் நம்மளாம் தான் ஜாகிரதையா இருக்கணும். ஒண்ணு மட்டும் நல்லா ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க, குழந்தைங்களுக்கு வந்து எல்லாமே தெரியும். அவங்கள மாதிரி ஒரு கியூரியாசிட்டி உள்ளது நம்மளுக்கு கிடையாது. சோ நம்ம வந்து கத்துக்கணும். நம்ம அதை பத்தி கம்ப்யூட்டர்னா என்ன, சோசியல் மீடியானா என்ன, அதோட கெடுதல் என்ன, அது எப்படி நம்ம குழந்தைங்கள்கிட்ட இருந்து காப்பாத்தணுங்கிறது நம்ம அதை கத்துக்கிட்டோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, நம்ம இந்த குழந்தைங்களை வந்து காப்பாத்தலாம். சும்மா அந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறது வந்து பிரயோஜனம் இல்லை. நம்ம வந்து நம்மளுக்கு அந்த அவேர்னஸ் வரணும். தட்ஸ் வாட் Mrs. Dania wants to say, wants to convey, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Sudha ma'am, for the lovely translation. Innoru vishayam enna, I will try to put this in the little Tamil that I know. Enna ipo accident nadindiruchuna adukku mele enna pananum kuda solli kodukano nama kulandangalukku. It shouldn't be like, edavadhu aayiduchu then the end of the world nu thona kodadhu avangalukku. They should feel that comfort. நம்ம கிட்ட வந்து சொன்னா there is going to be a solution for every problem. சொல்ல முடியும் அவங்களால, நம்ம கிட்ட வந்து ஏதாவது சொல்ல முடியும், பிரச்சனை இருக்குன்னு சொல்லவும் முடியும், டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணவும் முடியும்னா that confidence also அவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துதான் ஆகணும். பிகாஸ் ஆக்சிடென்ட்ஸ் லைக் ஐ செட் அது நடந்துதான் ஆகும், நமக்கும் நடக்கும், அவங்களுக்கு மட்டும் கிடையாது, நமக்கும் நடக்கும். ஸோ நடந்தா என்ன பண்ணுறதுன்னு நெக்ஸ்ட் நடக்க கூடாம பாக்குறது ஒரு விஷயம், நடந்தா என்ன பண்ணணும் அது கூட ஒரு கத்து கொடுக்கற விஷயம் தான். I hope it is manageable.
Yes ma'am, yeah, you are very correct. அது உண்மைதான் வந்து. ஆனா அந்த அளவுக்கு கான்பிடன்ஸ் வர்றதுக்கு இந்த குழந்தைகள் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் வந்து பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து சில்ட்ரனோட க்ளோஸா இருக்கணும். அவங்களோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், அவங்களோட கான்பிடன்ட், அவங்களோட ஒரு நம்பிக்கையை நம்ம வந்து கெயின் பண்ணணும். எந்த ஒரு பிரச்சனைனாலுமே ஒரு தாய் தகப்பன் கிட்டக்க இந்த குழந்தைகள் வந்து ஓபன் அவுட் ஆகிற மாதிரி நம்ம நடந்துக்கணும் முதல்ல. சோ எவ்ரி ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி இஸ் வித் த parents, adults. அது நல்லா
adults, yes, the guardians of the society. அவங்க பொறுப்பு தான் இது.
Thank you.
Correct. Thank you
very much Sudha. I think நல்லா explain பண்ணாங்க. So